I don't know what's in store for me. Someone open the door for me. Memories lie bitter and sweet. Blue water hits the shore for me. The sun rises and sets each day, tracking time, keeping score for me. Life is a game of ups and downs, a big maze to explore for me. I breathe each moment as it comes, waiting for love to soar for me. Time has gone by without a trace. Footprints lie on the floor for me. A tug of war follows my path. Both have struggle and roar for me. I come to search gold in ashes, and rain begins to pour for me. I play the game and soak it in. Gain and loss sing their lore for me. Sharing these gems are from above. The current flows drown more for me.
From the fact that it is couplets, written in couplet form.
Hanji, absolutely. The ghazal form has its own structure. As you can tell, the first word, the first couplet ends with for me. So each second line has to end with for me of each couplet. A ghazal form usually has 7 to 8 stanzas. And the other thing is each couplet should have a separate thought process in it. Along with that, each line has to have the same number of beats. I don't know what's in store for me. Someone open the door for me. 8 syllables. Each line has 8 syllables in it. हिंदी में तो लिखना आसान होता है, अंग्रेजी में काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है गज़ल लिखना, पर वो गज़ल लिखना ना वो स्ट्रक्चर फॉलो करना पड़ता है. शाहिद अली खान ने लिखा हुआ है और गुलाम अली भी गज़ल लिखा हुआ है, वो पढ़ के भी आप देख सकते हैं कि specifically कैसे structure. Especially the ghazal piece, we try to gel the music together so that the words can kind of reflect the actual changes and shifts that Shashadri ji and I kind of came up with. For example, hits the shore, Shashadri ji had a bit of hits, and the tug of war, he had a bit of friction in the violin. So we tried to kind of coordinate the feel, which was where all the rehearsals came into play. वो जो होता है ना classical dance में भी रसा और भावा. In Indian philosophy, the audience is a very important member of the mutual creative union. And it really is a creative union that happens. Because if you're really absorbed in what the performer says, you become one with what the performer is saying or doing. Words. Words formed by letters, like fetters that confine and restrain, to one refrain that repeats like heartbeats. Performing feats to overcome the hum of mingled voices of past choices that haunt and daunt like whispers that come and go in my mind as I rewind. The same refrain plays like an audio cassette full of regret as I rewind in my mind a phrase that repeats like heartbeats. Trying to let go with a desire to know the jumble of thoughts like knots that tumble out of mine, trying to weave them into a song so that I can belong. Always, I can hear the noise of forgotten childhood joys that repeats like heartbeats as I rewind in my mind to play back the same track of sound around and around to see my life on the screen like part of some routine. Photographs, frozen in time, me in my prime, doing some sort of mime, coming and going, a tumultuous dance leading me into a trance. The camera zooms in, making my head spin. With the same words, the same refrain in my brain, more pictures in front of my eyes, leading to my demise. They are full of empty spots as I try to connect the dots. wanting it to be, never satisfied with me, always wanting to be free, wanting consistency. The flame inside wants to provide, but it burns and yearns to the same refrain, creating pain that repeats like heartbeats. You can see the fire, the desire, shedding light in my plight. The inner flame creates a frame where I can name and proclaim how I feel, allowing me to heal. But the wind blows, trying to oppose with prose, trying to expose the storm, taking form with the same refrain that repeats and moves to the same beats of past defeats. I have cried inside, waiting for everything to subside, waiting for a guide that will help me decide. But things seem out of reach as I halt to a screech. Mingled voices, full of choices, coming back to the same track, speaking of lack. Shackles chain and continue to restrain, keeping me still as I try to fulfill my will. But I become paralyzed by the same refrain that repeats like heartbeats, with bouts of doubts, with fears all these years, full of tears that with time gone by, all has become dry. I'm ready for change and will arrange for the same flame to guide with pride, to burn steady and strong despite what is right and wrong. My goal is to perform, inform, transform, letting go of what others say, paving my own way, letting go of what others do, sticking to what is true, as I create a new refrain that will help me sustain my spirit so that it can shine with the divine. And it combined my desire or passion for performance and for writing. So this was a perfect medium for me to express my thoughts in my way.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. This dramatic presentation of poetry was very much in vogue till late 19th, early 20th, even mid 20th century. But over the time it fell into disuse, and I think with the advent of modernity, for certain reasons, most of the Indian poets in most of the languages have decided to put their palms and hands in check, to keep their abhinay expression in check, and to speak in a very straightforward, linear manner without much of dramatization. So a different school of thought came into being that the words must communicate without gesticulations. And I'm quite happy to see that what you are trying to do is a sort of a revival for us, and it makes it more interesting also.
Interesting.
I would like to thank Sherry Duggal. I think it was a wonderful performance. A few things I liked very much. One was this whole concept of alpha waves in the brain, the right brain. And then I was wondering always, how is this devotional meditation going to help people in transformation? Basically, this concept of alpha wave, where you relax and you move and you sing, that transforms. That is really interesting. The way you read. And you see, most of the poets nowadays, they don't write to music. They write without form. And then to transform that poetry into music is really difficult, because the way you have written poems, they are rhythmic, they have they're music, they're based on music, rhymed, and so they are really interesting. And there's imagery also as well. It's not just rhyming, there's imagery. So I will greatly appreciate your presence. This is a transformative phase. We want to see that how people can understand the meaning and method of poetry. With these words, I thank all of you for joining to this program and wish Sherry Duggal a good luck.
Namaste.